Hi guys, it's Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I am doing a paid review and this is for Carlos. This is paid review 20JU62. 20JU62. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing a Patek Philippe 5127. Calatrava, automatic, three-hander with a date. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Okay, let's jump straight into this paid review. Dear Archie, I love your channel. I've been a fan for almost a year. Would like your honest opinion on my situation. I have sent you 100 US for an express review. I'm 47 years old. I was born in 1972, same year as me. Financial advisor from Toronto, and very new to the watch hobby. Over the years, I have owned a series of cheap watches such as Movado, Tissot, Marvin, two Gucci's, a Fendi, a Burberry, Invicta, and Casio. Many were gifts and some I bought. I hope not. All of them changed in a fairly dramatic way with the death of my father in July 19. After the funeral, my mother gave me his Rolex DateJust 36mm two-tone, which she bought for him in 1996 for their 25th wedding anniversary. My father was a very talented carpenter, but a very humble man, so buying a Rolex was quite a big deal for him. It's hard to put into words what that moment was like for me and how my attitude towards watches was changed forever. Aside from the immediate connection it brought me to my father, whom I love very much, it also made me realize just how good a true luxury watch looks on the wrist, and more importantly, how it makes you feel. I had tried the watch on over the years and had always admired it, but now that it was mine, it just opened my eyes in a more real way. At the time, I knew Rolex was expensive, but had no idea what the retail price was. I was curious what a 23-year-old Datejust would be worth secondhand, and I was shocked at the value it had retained after all those years. This is when I began the journey to educate myself on Rolex and other watch brands and came across your channel. Even though I had begun to discover the world of luxury watches, I was not really in the market to purchase one. I thought to myself that if I ever bought another watch in the future, I would want it to be brand new, but all the talk of waiting lists and ADs really turned me off. I could not see myself walking into an AD off the street and trying to build a relationship from nothing. Really, what the hell does that even mean? So I decided to be content with my one watch collection. All of that changed one day in October 2019 at my office coffee machine when a colleague of mine noticed the Datejust on my wrist. He asked if I was into Rolex, and I told him that I had inherited it from my father, but that no, I was not into watch collecting, but I did admire the brand. As it turns out, my colleague was an avid watch collector with over 100 watches in his collection, and suggested he could put me in touch with his AD if I was interested in purchasing a watch. Not wanting to impose, I thanked him and told him I would give it some thought, but silently decided I would not bother him with the request, even though he had offered. A couple of weeks later, I bumped into him at the coffee machine, and he asked if I decided which watch I had wanted to buy and when I would like to speak to his AD. Again, not wanting to impose, I told him that I was still not sure. That night, I thought about it and decided I should probably take the opportunity and made the decision to go for it. And the next day I told him I was ready to talk to his AD. My friend explained the waiting list and building a relationship over time, which I think is so much bullshit. But I decided I wanted to make a good impression on this AD since he was referring me. So he asked me to put together a list of 3 watches I would consider buying. I told him GMT, Sub-Date, and an Explorer 2 white dial, in that order. He said he'd call his AD, let me know what she said. A short while later, he came to my desk with a bit of a dejected look on his face. He said the GMT and Explorer 2 were definitely out of the question, but that she could probably get me a Submariner date, but it would take quite a while, up to 1 year. He told me to definitely go for the Submariner, and that once I bought it, I would have my foot in the door and continue to order watches from her as an investment. At that point, I was feeling kind of unsure, but I told him, okay. So he called her up on his cell phone. She put on the speakerphone right at the desk and introduced me to her. We exchanged a few niceties, and she basically just asked for my credit number in order to take a deposit of $3,000 for the Submariner date. A few minutes later, she texted me a picture of a handwritten receipt for the deposit and told me she would be in touch when the watch came in, but not to expect anything until mid-2020. Fast forward to May 2020, not having heard anything from any dealer, and with COVID-19 shutdown going on, I began to get a little worried. I checked my AD's website, and they had been closed since mid-March. I seriously began to doubt if I would ever get my watch, and I contemplated texting the AD and asking for a refund on the deposit. Literally one day after getting the idea of asking for my deposit back, I received a text from the AD asking me to call her back ASAP. I had a lump in my throat, expecting some sort of bad news, but the voice on the other end said that my watch had arrived. And when would I be available for a 1-hour appointment to come in and pick it up? I could not believe my ears. We arranged for me to go by a couple of days later, and it was a very good experience. And honestly, the watch is way better than I ever expected. I'm literally over the moon with the purchase. My issue is now that I have been bitten by the watch bug and I want another. I would love the Explorer as an everyday work watch, but would really like a white dial to be different than the black dial sub. So I was thinking about an Explorer 2 Polar and interested in another watch, and she said, okay, which one would I be interested in? I mentioned the above noted watches, including the Explorer black dial, but much to my disappointment, she said they are not currently taking any orders on those particular watches for the rest of 2020. But she has noted my interest and will let me know as soon as any of these watches are available for taking a deposit. What should I do, Art? Should I be patient and wait for her to call, inquire about a DateJust 41 white dial, or should I go to a second-hand market on any of those watches? Am I correct in thinking a white dial might be a good, since the sub is black? No NBC, do you, in any case? Thanks again, Archie. Charles from Toronto. Thank you, Charles. Okay, Charles, I got to tell you, man, great story. I don't know where I got Carlos from. Anyhow, it's Charles from Toronto. Okay, very interesting story. The first thing I would highly suggest for you to do is to find an independent person. You want to find an older guy with grey hair. Get them to service your father's DateJust. If you can't find anyone to do that, I highly recommend in North America, Kenny Nguyen from Jewelers on Time. He does good work. No problems at all. The next thing is, do not ever sell your father's DateJust. You mentioned it was a two-tone, 36 mil. That is a beautiful watch. I would really keep that and enjoy that. That is a magnificent story. What an amazing story. You have a Rolex sub date. That is a beautiful watch. You're building a really nice collection here. You've got let's have a look at this. You've got a 36 mil two-tone DateJust. You have a steel black dial Submariner date. Beautiful. What would I add to this? I tell you honestly, what I would do if I were you, I would go to David SW. He is the North American leading pre-owned dealer. Tell him you know Archie, and I would order a Polar Explorer 2 or a black dial Explorer 2, whatever floats your boat. Whatever you do, you might talk to David SW about getting your dad's DateJust service. Remember, even though it's a Rolex and it's technically waterproof, sometimes the seals, it could do with a service. I wouldn't take it to Rolex because Rolex could change certain parts in it and they're going to charge you a fortune. I'd get a good independent to service that watch. I would seriously go to David SW. Forget this dealer wheeler crap. Okay, forget this dealer wheeler crap. It ain't gonna work, okay? I don't know why you want to get a DateJust 41 white dial. It's a nice watch. You've already got a DateJust. See, what I would do if I were you building a collection, you know what I reckon I would do? So you got a Your dad's DateJust, you've got a Submariner, I'd add some sort of GMT, and you know what else I would add? I'd add an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. That gives you a 3-piece combo meal deal. 3-piece combo meal, 4-piece. You've got the DateJust, the Subby, the Explorer, and a Omega. 4-piece combo meal hunger buster. Beautiful 4-piece collection. That's what I would do. Don't buy a DateJust 41. You got your dad's DateJust. Why would you do that, man? That's dumb. It's really dumb. I would forget the dealers. Forget the ADs. I would go to David SW. David SW, David SW. David SW is where I would go. He's probably the best dealer in North America, Canada. Ring David SW. That's exactly what I would do. What should I do? You've got to ring David SW. Get the Explorer 2 from David SW. Forget the AD. Forget that nonsense. They are time wasters. Time wasters. I wouldn't go to the AD. I hate ADs. Okay, I really do. Get in touch with David SW. You're going to have a much better relationship. That's exactly where I would go. And that's exactly what I would do. So I got to say to you, man, you're building a nice collection. What an amazing story. It was your dad's watch. What a cool combo meal deal. I'm very proud of you. Very, very proud indeed. So, guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some negative comments. And don't forget, guys, Archie can't survive on Google Ads. I depend on paid reviews. $50 US for a paid review. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you what I think. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And don't forget, guys, you can also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay $1 a month. It keeps me going because the Google is garbage, okay? Google is garbage. I don't earn much at all. It's the paid reviews that keep me going. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hi guys, I'm ArchieLuxury. I'm the method actor who plays Paul Pluta, Satan DeVille. I play a number of characters on the ArchieLuxury and the ArchieLuxury Corporate and the Paul Pluta channel. Guys, I want to talk to you about weight loss. Weight loss. I don't know if you've noticed in the last couple of weeks there, but there's been a steady decline in my weight. And I got to tell you, the ArchieLuxury weight loss program, I've rebooted that thing there more than a bad server with Windows NT on it. Guys, I want to talk to you about weight loss, and I want to be completely honest and serious with you. I've got a new technology, and it's gonna help you lose the pounds. ArchieLuxury, this is the new secret information. Tapeworm 2000. That's correct. Tapeworm 2000. Hey, Scotty, how are you? Man, I just want to talk to you quickly about the reverso there. I've had very little interest. Very, very tough, Scotty. Now, I got to be honest with you, man. You know, I don't think you overpaid for it, but it's just the market is so tough. Are you sure you really want to sell it? Because I was going to say to you, man, maybe you should keep it for 6 months. The market's going to improve in 6 months' time. I don't know if I'd really want to sell it. Okay, so I can sell it on my channel at cost if you want. If you really want to really move it, why don't we sell it at, I'll advertise it at cost for you. So that cost you $12,000 plus you got taxes, $12,500, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you sell it at 12.
Okay, I'll sell it at 12, Scotty. Let's move it. Because I tell you... Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, new sponsor on the channel, APPSTANTIATE. Help get the most of your engineering and DevOps with APPSTANTIATE. APPSTANTIATE provides on-demand DevOps infrastructure, test automation, and continuous integration as a service with a focus on mentoring and hiring assistants to help engineering teams scale. They are experts in Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and the latest open source utilities to help your company save time and money. Cost reduction in your hosting bills alone will pay for itself. In addition, the team is 100% onshore, New York City-based senior engineers. APPSTANTIATE will help you get most productivity out of your current stack and/or employee headcount. Email hello@appstantiate.com. Please email now hello@appstantiate.com for more information. ArchieLuxury, proudly supporting fantastic businesses. And don't forget, guys, make sure you subscribe to the ArchieLuxury corporate live streaming channel to be updated on all the live shows I do. Live shows!